All right, welcome back out onto the set right now. Yeah, David, you really got it. That was a hot night for you as well. David, Chris, Matisse, Thybulle, both of these guys stopping by. Just talked to Coach Hopkins. The conversation continues here on Media Day with this Washington squad. We showed you guys having some fun upstairs on the ping pong table. I had asked when you got down here who won. David, you told me I did. Easy win. Matisse, you cannot start complaining about equipment issues as a reason for defeat.
So now we got bad paddles at the Pac-12 network. That's what you're saying.
It's great. This place is great. If you could get different paddles, I mean, that wouldn't be against
All right, I'm going to give you the out here because you said there was an issue with the paddle. What was wrong?
It just wasn't responding the way I'm used to. You know, the response you get from the.
So isn't that more you as opposed to the paddle? Is it user operator error?
No,
it's definitely user.
It's not.
Did you feel like the ball was doing what you wanted it to do, David, when you were playing?
I think it did exactly what I wanted to do.
But see, he had a different paddle, so that's the reason you can say that.
But the score is 21-12.
That wasn't super.
How intense does it get with you guys on the practice floor, in like basketball terms?
I mean, we're athletes. We're competitive by nature. So I mean, when it comes to ping pong, basketball, it could be anything. Throwing rocks, you can throw the farthest. Like we're gonna get competitive, and I think in practice, like things get intense and. I know, like we feed off of it, and it pushes us to get better because it brings down our comfort zone a little bit.
How different this year? I mean, how different? Yeah, you guys, I said it to Coach Hopkins, not the year you guys wanted last year, but you have a new coach, a new way of doing things. How different is it?
It's a lot different, you know, but the stuff he's coming in and showing us, the culture he's brought in is, you know, everybody's buying in, and I think we're definitely heading in the right direction.
What was it from a cultural standpoint that made it easy for you guys? Because Coach talked about how you guys are buying into how the guys on the team, not just you guys, are sort of going with the flow with how things are supposed to go. I mean, you guys knew Lorenzo. You know how it was under his process and his regime. Give me some tangible things that are just maybe a little bit different with Coach Hopkins now.
I'd say it's just like individually across the board, like we're all bought into the team. And like guys have set aside like their own personal agendas, and we're all just putting everything into this team because we realize one of the things that we talk about as a team is like we're stronger together. And then when we're stronger together, we can go farther. And when you win, everybody looks good.
How much? And I didn't ask you guys this last year, and we all love Markelle. But was it hard to play with Markelle last year because of his talent? Obviously, the #1 pick in the NBA draft. But did that kind of disrupt some things? You know, he got so much media attention. There's so much focus on him. Was that hard to deal with last year?
No, I wouldn't say so because I feel like he got a lot of bad smoke for that because people looked at it like, man, this guy's supposed to be so good, but his team's losing. He can't lead his team to wins, and he plays with no expression on his face, and a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't look like he cares. And it was tough to see that because he does care and all that. So every night, everybody came out and was trying to play their hardest, and we're looking at it as he gets all this media attention and he has, all this clout. It was just like, man, let's all try our hardest, do what we can to win. But it wasn't hard though.
What kind of conversations are you guys having with the guys that have moved on from this program, the Markells of the world, the DeJounte Murrays of the world, who are now playing at that next level? Steady communication. Marquise Chris, another guy, don't want to forget about him. He's been balling out at the NBA level. What do they tell you about NBA life?
I talk to DeJounte every day. That's like my brother. And, he just tells me those guys, they just go work on their game. They're just professionals about it.
Do they miss school? And the reason why I ask is because John Ross used to wear, obviously, a UW uniform. Dante Pettis, we had him on Inside Pac-12 Football. He said, yeah, I talk to John all the time. He's always asking what's happening with the team. Is that kind of how those conversations go?
Yeah, definitely. They're bored a lot. He says he gets done with his day around noon. You're just in the beginning of your day when you're in school. So, they ask a lot what we're doing. They get bored, and they have free time to visit. But, yeah.
Matisse, if you got any free time, let's work on that ping pong game.
Yeah, we can definitely.
Just bring your own paddle next time.
I'll provide the paddles. And we can get in there.
Just go down that route. Guys, both of you, best of luck to you this upcoming season.
Good luck, guys.
Stay healthy, and obviously we want to see some big things from you guys in that purple.
Really appreciate it.